Ladies and gentlemen, friends, community members, welcome to AIC celebration of UN Peace Day 2018. My name is Hee-Won Hwang, and it is my great honor to be your MC for this event. I would like to take a moment to remind you to either turn off your cell phone or set it to silent mode to avoid interfering with this morning's program. Peace is something that all of us, including myself, take for granted. It is something so commonplace that we rarely imagine ourselves without it. This often makes us overlook the importance of peace. Or worse, while we may acknowledge its importance, we simply may not value it as much as we should. Perhaps we may all just be overly accustomed to peace, that it is no more than just something that's there. We, however, forget that we are here today with our parents, children, and friends because peace exists. Still to this day, there are millions of individuals deprived of their right to peace. While we wake up wondering what clothes to wear, they wake up with the goal of living through the day. We fall asleep thinking about homework while their nights are filled with fear. They do not have the luxury that we have in devaluing peace. For them, peace is a luxury that seems out of reach. Discord and injustices seem inevitable to our world today. Yet, we can make a change, an impact. Let us work together to make a tomorrow where instead of disagreements, peace is inevitable. Let us make a tomorrow where peace is valued by everyone. Today's celebration of the UN Peace Day is a reminder for us to do so. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, to begin our Parade of Nations, I would like to invite to the podium our Co-Secretary General of Chaemun 12, Sejin Park.
Thank you, Hee-Won. I would like to officially announce the start of the 2018 AIC Parade of Nations, beginning with the early years students under the flag of the United Nations, carried by Mridula Arvind, Rama Mutt, Anjan Mani, and Katie Folger. begin our Parade of Nations, beginning with Australia. Austria. Bangladesh. Brazil. Canada. China. Croatia. Denmark. France. Germany. India. Italy. Japan. Republic of Korea. Malaysia. New Zealand. Peru. Philippines. Portugal. Romania. Singapore. South Africa. Spain. Thailand. Turkey. United Kingdom. United States of America. This concludes our Parade of Nations. I now invite my Co-Secretary General, Minha Park, to the stand to speak on the vital importance of peace.
Good morning, students, faculty members, and parents. I'm honored to be given the opportunity to address everyone here regarding what is so wanted, so striven for, yet seems so distant from us: peace. Absence of peace leads to disagreements. Disagreements births conflict, and conflict brings damage. Physical damage, yes, that harms our bodies and pains us, but also psychological damage, the pain that comes from injured ones, hurt ones, and lost ones. These kinds of conflicts and damages have already manifested and exist in our world today. All over the world, we can see the effect when peace is absent. Families are torn apart, innocent lives are taken, and those unwilling are brought to wars. Even attempts to escape conflict have resulted in capsized boats, ostracism, and deportation. What family, what individual, what country wouldn't want peace? Hence, peace is naturally a state of affairs that people wish to be in. But you might be asking, how does this affect me? I must admit, I am guilty of asking such questions. I have felt so distant and separated from the issues in Sudan, Syria, and even closer ones such as the crisis in Myanmar. I'm not the one fighting, so why must I feel responsibility for these issues? It did not take me too long nor too much thought to realize the implications that faraway conflicts have in my life. Largely, humanity and cultures thrive off of each other. The interconnected nature of society increases, which opens our eyes to more perspectives. Then, individual societies develop, reaching heights that would not have been possible without external viewpoints. This is also why our school is so unique and beneficial for every one of us. We learn others' opinions and thoughts, and we begin to form our own complex and developed points of views. We are each a part, a gear in a machine called humanity, and there would be extreme difficulty in working should one part be missing or ineffective. Thus, preservation of peace and functionality of other regions directly leads to everyone's benefit. Therefore, peace must be sustained. But how do you and I achieve peace locally and internationally? Achieving peace within our own community can be minor. Compromising in decision-making, understanding faults and conflicts, and having sympathy and empathy for all are simple yet effective ways in which you can maintain peace locally. And truly, these qualities are also needed for peace outside of our locality. Understanding, sympathy, and compromise are what makes humanity humanity. They are the characteristics that combat the factors that break peace. And so, I encourage you all not to listen passively and store information at the back of your mind, but to take action and adopt a willingness to make a change. Don't be constrained by the thought of having to solve an entire armed conflict, but start out manageable. Start out simple. Because those simple acts for peace add up. And with each working part, within each working year, the full machine begins to work. And then, our society, our world, can operate in harmony and in unity for the betterment of everyone around us. Thank you, and I would now like to welcome back Hee-won Hwang to the stage.
Thank you, Minna. I now invite Sanjeev Naik to speak on this year's Peace Day theme, The Right to Peace.
Thank you, Hee-won. Welcome. This year, our theme, The Right to Peace, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, marks the 70th anniversary of the efforts of UN peacekeeping worldwide. During the 1948 signing, a group of diverse drafters came together worldwide to prevent the horrific human rights violations and mass refugee migration that occurred during World War II. Unfortunately, in 2018 alone, the number of human rights violations in failing states, such as Yemen, Somalia, Syria, Afghanistan, Venezuela, and Pakistan, are simply appalling. The Organization of American States published a 400-page report concluding that crimes against humanity were committed in Venezuela. Now, as we speak, hundreds of thousands of refugees flood nations bordering Venezuela, straining the resources of those nations too. In India, we have refugees streaming in from Myanmar and Tibet. Now, more than ever, we need to come together and honor this year's UN Day theme of peace. Imagine that if you, at this exact moment, were given 20 minutes to gather everything you valued and were forced to flee your home, what would you take? Your phone? Clothes? Food? Imagine you had no idea where to go and just joined the stream of other refugees as they fled. The truth is that refugees are just people like us, students, parents, doctors, teachers, engineers, people who, due to sudden circumstances, have been forced out of their home. We should all be truly thankful for being privileged enough to attend this celebration in this beautiful school, in an air-conditioned room with around-the-clock security. This day is special as it is a day and a chance to honor and respect those who don't have the same privileges as us, and those who must leave their homes forever and face a life without their right to peace. Every day, there are problems and hurdles towards the long road of peace, but every day, we must keep striving towards the realization of human rights for all people. To end, I will leave you with a quote. Nelson Mandela once said, "I am fundamentally an optimist. Whether that comes from nature or nurture, I cannot say. Part of being optimistic is keeping one's head pointed towards the sun, one's feet moving forward. There were many dark moments when my faith in humanity were sorely tested, but I would not and could not give myself up to despair. That way lays defeat and death." Thank you. Now I would like to welcome back Heewon to continue the ceremony.
Thank you, Sanjeev. I would now like to welcome to the stage Adrian Chanuday, Keshav Menon, Metran Lebador, Una Morris, Summer Dowling, Wonyoung Choi, and Yo Hirai to deliver the elementary school's message of peace.
Peace begins with you. Peace can feel warm, bright, and strong, or calm, cool, and gentle. It can be found in a place that is busy and loud, and be missing in the quietest place on earth. Peace means different things to different people.
So, what is peace? Where does it come from? How can you find it? And how can you keep it?
How to be a peacemaker. Learn about what is happening in the world around you, about different ways of living and thinking. Be involved in the decisions being made on your behalf by parents, teachers, counselors, and politicians.
But first of all, learn about yourself, about why you think, believe, feel, and act as you do. Learn how to listen and how to see things from another point of view. Learn how to solve problems peacefully in your own life, because peace begins with you, in your own backyard, and right here at school.
Peace Begins With You by Catherine Schultz. There are some things you need just to stay alive: food, water, a place to live, clothing to keep warm, help when you are ill or injured. Peace is having the things you need. Then there are also things that you want to help make life good.
Small things, like a cup of hot chocolate on a wintry evening, or and big things, like not being afraid, like having the chance to go to school, like knowing you are loved by family or friends.
Peace is being able to have at least some of the things you want, but everyone is different. Peace is being allowed to be different and letting others be different from you.
And even when people are not different, there can still be problems. They may want to have or use the same thing at the same time, or there may not be enough of something that everybody wants.
Living with others means you can't always have what you need or want. So what can be done when people's needs or wants don't seem to fit together? There can be arguments, angry words, silences, or even fighting. When this happens, peace is interrupted.
But something completely different can happen. When people listen to one another, when they work together to solve the problem, they can suggest ways of solving the problem so that peace is not interrupted.
There are always choices that can be made. Some choices threaten peace. Some choices protect it. Every day, people make choices about peace, at home, at school, at work.
Their choices affect others as well as themselves. The same kinds of choices are made when there are arguments between one country and another. Some choices lead into the end to war. But through people talking, listening, and working things out together, peace can be protected.
Working for peace may be harder than using force. You may have to be braver and stronger. But when you consider how much pain is caused when peace is broken in families, neighborhoods, and countries all over the world and all through time, it has to be worth it.
Peace has to be a better way. The only hope of lasting peace in our homes, our communities, and all the countries of the world is a peace that is real for everyone. This can only begin to happen when more people work toward making sure others have the things they need and at least some of the things they want.
When more people work toward making sure everyone is treated fairly, life becomes peaceful for everyone. Moods lift and people feel taken care of.
All through history, there have been peacemakers, people who have worked for peace, by trying to make life better for the others, that everyone, whoever and wherever they are, can have the chance of a good life.
Being a peacemaker often means saying no. It may mean starting a conflict. Because if you believe something is wrong or unfair, you may have to speak up and you may have to act. Our world is full of change and our ideas about what we need, and especially what we want for change as well.
There are many ways of living together, and in the end, we all depend on one another. So when we think about the future, we must think about living in peace with all living beings. Caring about problems in the world, and even when problems of your own, doesn't mean you can't feel peace anymore.
There is a special kind of peace that lives inside you. Some people can feel this peace even when they are in great pain, fear, or danger. We can also look to others to learn about this inside peace and how we too can make peace in our world.
Peace is not a gap between time of fighting or a space where nothing is happening.
Peace is something that lives, grows, spreads, and needs to be looked after.
Peace!
Thank you. And now the high school choir, under the direction of Miss Deborah Lee, will sing a medley of Stand By Me and Lean On Me. Thank you to the high school choir for their lovely musical performance. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome Mr. Andrew Hoover to the podium to share some final thoughts on this day and bring our ceremony to a close.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrew Hoover. I'm the head of school, and thank you all for joining us for this annual celebration of the United Nations International Day of Peace at the American International School, Chennai. First, I'd like to recognize and thank our student speakers and performers today, our high school seniors, yeah, we can do that, our high school seniors and Secretaries General of AISC's Chairman 12, Sojin Park, who welcomed country groups, and Minha Park for his well-chosen words. Give them a round of applause. Our eloquent 8th grade speaker, who's a MUN member, Sanjeev Nayak. Our 5th grade students, Adrian Chanudet, Keshav Menon, Matarin Le Baudor, Una Morrison, Summer Dowling, Won Young Choi, and Yo Hirai. Give them a round of applause. And our high school choir, under the direction of Deborah Lee. Thank you so much. And our high school master of ceremonies, grade 12 student council president, Hee-Wan Huang. Thank you. Thank you all for representing our community with such thoughtfulness and empathy. A few others, thank you to Todd and Kirsten Welbus and Sonia Illich for their leadership, and our teams of teachers who you've seen all over the campus this morning, who have made this ceremony so special for all of us. Thank you all very, very much. And in advance for sharing their cultures during our International Day tomorrow, the PCA Executive Committee, the country coordinators, and the many, many parents and faculty and staff who've been so collaborative and community-minded over the past many, many weeks. Thank you to everyone. The International Day of Peace was established in 1981, and in 2001, September 21st, was set aside as a day devoted to reinforcing the ideals of peace between and within all countries. The United Nations General Assembly chose this day to demonstrate a commitment to the ideals of nonviolence among all peoples of all nations. This year's theme, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, is meant to call attention to this vital, progressive document, which was adopted 70 years ago, as you've heard, as a shared aspirational standard of basic human rights. Among the many rights clarified in the document, the right to freedom and equal treatment, the right to privacy, the right to education, the right to leisure and rest, the right to freedom of movement. We're taking time today not only to celebrate our diversity as a community, but also to pause, to reflect, and to consider our own role in knowing and understanding and supporting the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So many years, so many days have passed since the world committed to the 30 articles contained in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which outline the most basic freedoms that are all too familiar to those of us privileged by the guarantees of democracy. 70 years later, 25,550 days, well beyond the lifetimes of most of us in this community, these rights, among many others, remain for so many people across the globe unachieved, deprived, and even violated. According to the United Nations, there are nearly 10 million people across the globe who have been denied a nationality and related rights. Every minute, nearly 20 people are displaced as a result of conflict or persecution. At the end of 2016, nearly 65 million people globally have been forcibly displaced, and more than 600 million women live today in countries where domestic violence is not a crime. On this occasion of the 70th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, we are reminded of the value and the importance of raising awareness. We are reminded of the centrality of conversation. We are reminded that the quality of our communities are a reflection of the quality of our conversations. What should we be talking about in the coming week? What are the most basic human rights? Where are basic human rights most honored and respected? Where are basic human rights most challenged or denied? Why? What can we do? Each one of us can make a difference today and each day when these global issues sometimes seem remote or distant. According to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, each one of us has a duty to our community to take responsibility, to respect one another, and to honor each individual's differences. Right here at AISC, in the coming week, we can promote and raise awareness of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. We can self-educate, read, share what we know. We can reflect on the rights and consider how we can advocate for them. We can take the pledge to support the Declaration. This year, the United Nations is asking people across the globe to raise awareness by taking the Human Rights Pledge. I take it here with all of you. I will respect your rights, regardless of who you are. I will uphold your rights, even when I disagree with you. When anyone's human rights are denied, everyone's rights are undermined. So I will stand up. I will raise my voice. I will take action. I will use my rights to stand up for your rights. As a community that values, among other things, personal responsibility, respect, and diversity, the coming week is an opportunity for us to practice international mindedness. As former journalist and out of Eden walker Paul Salopek reminded many of us in this auditorium last week, it's about paying attention. Today at AISC, we're more than 25 nationalities, and we're an amazing array of cultures, as we saw from the parade. Collectively, we believe that together we inspire a love of learning in each other. We empower each other with courage, confidence, creativity, and compassion, hopefully to positively contribute to communities and to the world. Let's go forth. In closing, thank you all for celebrating our commitment to mutual respect and diversity today. Thank you for being here and for your attention and thoughtfulness. Appreciate everything we have together as a community together tomorrow during our celebration. And finally, to close this ceremony, I would now like to ask teachers and students to stay seated momentarily, and parents, you may now rise and exit the theater. Thank you all very, very much.